So what if I told you there were Lego versions of the Gotham Knights? What's going on, everybody? My name is Blitzwinger, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are going to do just that. Take a look at all of the revealed characters so far from the Gotham Knights video game and how I have gone ahead and, as I always say, Legofied them, which basically is a new verb that I came up with where you turn things into Lego. Now, regardless, of course, guys, if you do enjoy today's video, don't forget to go on ahead and smash that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and of course, in addition to that, let me know which of the designs is your personal favorite. And let's kick things off with the one and only Batgirl, which I believe is the first character that we actually do see in the Gotham Knights reveal trailer. By the way, I cannot wait for Gotham Knights next year. That is going to be such an awesome game, or at least I hope so, and I think all of us are really hoping that it will be the case. But regardless, here is the Batgirl costume. I think one of the unique things that is very different between the Batgirl design that we get in this game versus the one that I've assembled here is, of course, the fact that she does indeed have a completely different mask design in the game, where it's more like almost like the classic mask design for like Batwoman, interestingly enough. So that's kind of a distinct feature that is quite a bit different between the two designs. But other than that, she does obviously rock her really cool purple and yellow costume. And next up, we have the boy wonder himself. It is Robin. And yes, some of the characters will be missing their weapons just because I felt like some of them didn't necessarily have to have their weapons. Like when we saw some of the characters like Batgirl in the promos and stuff like that, she didn't have her weapons like the grapple gun or the batarangs, so it's not a prominent feature. Now, one of the things that I know people will criticize about this Robin design is the color of the mask, because it is supposed to be black instead of green. The problem is there is no way to change the color of that mask within the game, so unfortunately we had to stick with that. I did use the darkest green possible so that it's as close to a black color as I possibly could, but overall I'm really stoked with how this one turned out. I really like this particular design. And next up after that, once again, another character that should again have a black eye mask instead of the blue one, which is a pretty prominent element that again is missing. It really stands out a lot more on this guy just because it's such a bright blue, but again, unfortunately, it had to be either this or I could have gone with the dark green, but I feel like the green just stood out too much. I'm still really happy with how this one turned out. I did go on ahead and implement the back bling or the backpack as though he's got the electric batons equipped to his back. And aside from that, obviously a little bit of blue onto the legs and the arms to give you an accurate rendition of Nightwing as he is seen within Gotham Knights. Now, before we get to my favorite design of the 4 Gotham Knights, let's take a look at some villains, shall we? So first and foremost, here is my redesign for Mr. Freeze. So this is Mr. Freeze as he is seen in the Gotham Knights first original reveal. The only problem is, of course, he's way too small because he is supposed to be quite ginormous. I couldn't make him a big fig, of course, because there is no editing in the game that allows you to do that. But I still did go on ahead and try to capture the elements of the kind of light blue, then dark blue, and then also the very almost like neon blue or ice blue, as well as some white highlights all throughout to try to get as close as possible to Mr. Freeze as we see him in that epic boss fight. Now, the latest trailer of Gotham Knights actually showcased to us for the very first time the Penguin, and so I did go on ahead and recreate him. Now, as we only see him, he doesn't actually have the monocle, but then further in that same trailer, we do actually see that he does have the monocle as he's like reading something. So I felt like it's such a key element of Penguin that I felt like I needed to go on ahead and include it, and it is over the correct eye. The only thing that I think you could really criticize about this particular take is the fact that the tie should be purple instead of blue, but this was the closest that I could get as far as the color being correct is concerned. And besides that, everything else is pretty darn accurate. Now, we see a lot of creepy Talons all throughout the different trailers of the Gotham Knights, and this one is kind of the most animalistic one. This is the one that I tried to go on ahead and make as close as possible to the skinniest of the Talons that we see, just the really creepy ones. And I think this one turned out super duper cool. I'm very glad with how this one looks. But then I also did go on ahead and make the ginormous one that we see in the latest trailer. Unfortunately, I could not give him the shield that he was holding as well, because we did see that he was holding this big giant club and also a shield. But obviously, as you can see, I was not able to go on ahead and replicate that element. However, I'm still pretty darn happy with how this one turned out, and I think these two side by side look like a pretty awesome duo of foes that we will be facing off in Gotham Knights. But that is not all for our villains. I did go on ahead and actually assemble some of the members of the Court of Owls. I wish that I could change the color of this mask to be gold instead of silver, because I think that would make it a tad bit more accurate, but I'm still pretty darn happy with how this one looks. It definitely has that creepy vibe that the Court of Owl members all have, so I'm actually pretty darn happy with how this one turned out. And then I did go on ahead and assemble one that actually has the white style of a mask as well, just for the sake of having some more variety. So as you can see, there's a lot of Talons, a lot of the members of the Court of Owls that I have gone ahead and created or recreated to the best of my ability within LEGO DC Supervillains. And now we end it with the best looking character, in my opinion, in the Gotham Knights game, and that is Red Hood. I am so stoked to play as this character, and I'm so stoked that the design for this character turned out as cool as it did. I think this is a pretty darn accurate rendition of the character in Lego form. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think that this character turned out as cool as I think, or maybe you think that there's a specific thing that I went ahead and missed in this design? Now, of course, guys, in addition to all that, if you guys enjoyed today's video, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't yet. Special thank you and special shout out to the members of the channel. You guys are insanely awesome. Thank you for supporting the channel. If you'd like to become a member, there's always a link down in the description. In the meantime, I do want to go on ahead and thank you guys so very much for watching today's video, and I will hopefully catch you here on the next one. Peace out. See you later, alligators. Bye-bye, everybody.